Hey there, I'm journalist Matt Pierce. Have you ever heard of the Manifest Destiny? It's a 19th century term that still has implications in our society today. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the Manifest Destiny and how it continues to shape our society, our culture, and our politics. The phrase Manifest Destiny first appeared in 1845 when journalist John L. O'Sullivan came up with the phrase while writing in support of the United States annexing Texas. He claimed that it was America's manifest destiny to expand across the North American continent, a right supposedly given to them by God. This belief wasn't just about land or resources, it was a sense of mission, a conviction that Americans had a duty to spread their values, their cultures, and their way of life. By crossing mountains and rivers, by pushing westward into territories that were not originally theirs, they felt that they were bringing quote-unquote civilization and quote-unquote progress to what they viewed as quote-unquote untamed lands. Now at the time, Manifest Destiny fueled Westward Expansion, drawing thousands of settlers towards the frontier. People loaded up their wagons, left their familiar lands, and they set out to find new ones. But behind the idea was a powerful mix of ambition, faith, and a strong sense of national identity. But as inspiring as Manifest Destiny might sound in history books, it came with a very dark and sinister side. The Westward Expansion meant that the forced removal of Native American tribes, the exploitation of natural resources, and eventually conflicts like the Mexican-American War would result, and the United States would gain more than half of Mexico's territory. But Manifest Destiny wasn't merely about geography, it was about mindset. It reinforced the idea that Americans somehow were chosen to grow their nation across the continent, an idea that continues to influence the American identity today. Now, while the days of wagon trails and land grabs, they're long gone, the mentality of Manifest Destiny hasn't entirely faded. We see its influence in subtle ways throughout modern American life. One way that Manifest Destiny persists is through the belief that Americans are exceptional. There's an American exceptionalism everywhere. The identity that the United States has a unique role in the world, often seen as a beacon of freedom, democracy, and opportunity. Now, this belief underpins much of American foreign policy. Take, for instance, the nation's involvement in conflicts and humanitarian interventions around the globe. Whether it's by sending aid, brokering peace deals, or deploying troops, there's often a sense that America is acting not just out of national interest, but out of duty to protect and uplift others. This sense of duty can be seen as an extension of the Manifest Destiny, the idea that America has a responsibility to everyone to guide and to lead them. Yet this perspective does have its critics. Opponents argue that this approach can lead to a kind of cultural arrogance, where the U.S. overlooks the desires, customs, and history of other people in favor of their own domestic U.S. culture. And this can breed resentment abroad in very complex ways, even damaging relationships with other countries and other people. Now, many would argue that the Manifest Destiny has morphed into a modern expectation that the U.S. will engage globally regardless of the long-term impacts of other nations. Now, back home, the spirit of Manifest Destiny is still very influential today in how Americans see land and resources. The country's vast landscape has always been central to its identity, a place of endless possibilities. But this has come with a consequence for the environment and indigenous populations. During the original push westward, Native American lands were taken or forced into sales, and tribes were often relocated to reservations. Native Americans continue to face this repercussion of displacement. Issues over land rights, access to sacred sites and resource control remain deeply complicated and contested. The Dakota Access Pipeline protest in 2016, for example, highlighted ongoing struggles between energy interest, indigenous rights, and environmental protection. This is a modern-day clash of values that's embedded deep inside manifest destiny. Now, likewise, the widespread belief in land ownership, expansion, and resource development has fueled America's approach to natural resources, often at the cost of environmental stewardship. It's part of the reason that the United States has one of the highest rates of energy consumption in the world. As the nation faces climate change, the mindset that the land and resources exist to be developed is coming under renewed scrutiny. How America manages this balance between development and conservation in the coming years may ultimately be one of the last legacies of manifest destiny. Now, if we shift our focus from the land and look to the American culture, we find echoes of manifest destiny in the technology sector. Today's tech giants, companies like Google, Apple, Tesla, SpaceX, they often operate with a similar drive to pioneer new frontiers, not in the physical space, but in digital and scientific realms. Many leaders in Silicon Valley embrace the idea that they're leading humanity into a new era of possibility, breaking barriers and reshaping society. Now, in a way, these companies reflect the same spirit of manifest destiny, positioning themselves as both innovators and trailblazers. Just as the early settlers sought new lands, today's tech companies seek new knowledge, often with the same confidence that they're destined to lead something. Yet this drive also raises ethical questions about privacy, security, and the concentration of power. Just as manifest destiny ignored the voices of indigenous populations, some argue that tech companies overlook the rights and privacy of everyday people in their pursuit of progress. Now, manifest destiny was once about expanding borders, but today it's a broader mindset, one that combines ambition, exploration, and a sense of purpose. Yet it carries the weight of ethical questions. At home and abroad, in business and culture, and everywhere we look, the echoes of manifest destiny, the idea of it anyway, remain, shaping the way that America sees itself and its role in the world. As Americans face new frontiers, space exploration, the environmental challenges, whatever it is, the legacy of manifest destiny offers a guide and a warning. It's a call for bold visions, but also for humility. It's calling for respect and a rethinking of what destiny truly means in a world that is more connected, diverse, and interdependent than ever before. In the end, manifest destiny isn't a chapter in the history books. It's a reminder of the importance of understanding the roots and ambition and responsibilities that come along with it. As Americans forge new paths in a complex world, the question still remains. Can they fulfill a destiny, not just for themselves, but one that protects all who share the journey? Thank you for joining me in this journey through the past, the present, and the future of manifest destiny, an idea that even now shapes America's future. Hey there, I'm journalist Matt Pierce. Thanks for joining me. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. I really appreciate it. Your support helps me take this channel even further, create better content, and grow a community around inquisitive and informed citizens.